Good morning. Good morning, good morning. I am just going to see if anybody's able to join us today. I know I'm earlier than normal, but I was too excited and I just wanted to show you guys some techniques on how to create some really fun psychedelic summer tie-dye. So I'm just going to give it a second here. I am going to gather some of my stuff. We're going to be using our Oval Art Tips number 2 in clear. And I'm going to be using a selection of our Ugly Duckling gel polishes and a couple other products as well. And I'm just getting my computer set up on the side here so I can see if anybody has any comments or questions. If I can get it ready. Technical difficulties, but we're a-okay. Let's see. Here we go. I hope you guys are having a good day today. We are on the cusp of a long weekend. It's July 1st tomorrow, so that means it's Canada Day for us here in Canada tomorrow. I hope you guys are excited for the long weekend and that you get some time off for the long weekend. Sorry guys, just 2 seconds. I'm just getting my laptop set up on the side here, like I said. Okay. Oops. Almost there. So we're going to do 2 different techniques today. We are going to do the this kind of full spiral, and this is done using our tacky top and then our gel polishes. And then we are going to use this, the center one is done using clear Schmelt It and our gel polishes. So there's 2 different ways you can achieve a really fun tie-dye look, and we are going to give it a go today. Just want to make sure the lighting and everything looks okay for you guys before I get started. It's kind of a dark day to here today again. We had some really nice weather at the beginning on Monday, and then Saturday and Sunday were beautiful as well, and then of course now it's back to being dark and yucky. Okay, so first things first, we're going to start off with we're going to paint 2 tips with number 44 gel polish. That's our true white gel polish. Let me just 1 second here. I got a little pokey outy on that tip there. So again, guys, typically I like to show you guys some techniques that are quick and easy to do, and this is perfect for summer. If somebody wants something last minute and they're adventurous and they don't mind a crazy design like this, this is something that you could do pretty quickly. So I'm going to start off with just a thin layer of white, which is number 44 gel polish, just so that the colors that we're using are going to pop even more, because I am using our neon colors, which if you joined me last week or if you were able to, we swatched all of our fabulous summery kind of neon colors in our gel polish line. So I'm using some of those today, and in order for them to pop even more, I mean, they're really vibrant on their own, but for them to pop even more, I'm going to put them over a white base. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to pop this in the lamp just to cure that. And I'll get another one going here too. We're going to do both of our bases at the same time. Nice thin, even coat. I showed a few of our ducklings that work here in office the tie-dye today, and they're like, can you do that on me? So I think I'll be doing some feature nail tie-dye in the coming days for a couple people. So fun. Okay, so nice even coat of white gel polish. We're popping that in the lamp for a cure. Now we're going to come back, and while that other one is curing, I'm going to start. Let's start with our tacky top version. So I've got 1 thin layer of cured white gel polish, which is number 044. And I've cured that. So now I'm going to hop over to my palette. I'll put my tip to the side. We've got our crystal tip, or sorry, our crystal palette, and I am going to lay out the colors we'll be using today. Just grab them from my drawer here. Okay, so I'm going to go in kind of a rainbow order, because typically traditional tie-dye, you see a lot of kind of rainbow color schemes. So I'm starting off here with this super bright pink, which is number 169. Then I'm going to grab number 199, which is a beautiful neon orange. And then we're going to hop into number 194, which is this highlighter yellow. Great on its own, you guys, like I said, but even more vibrant over a white background. Then I'm going to hop into number 195, which is this really awesome neon kind of lime green. We're going to jump into number 173, which is a turquoise. And then number 134, which is a beautiful, vibrant, kind of almost fuchsia-y purple. It's a new, unique color for sure. So I'm actually going to put that one before the pink, just because I like the flow of those colors. They all really complement each other that way. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab Tacky Top. I'm going to move this to the side for a second. I'm going to grab Tacky Top and I'm going to apply a thin layer to the cured layer of white gel polish. And we are going to cure this, but only for about, I'd say about 15 seconds. We don't want it fully cured. It's going to be partially cured. But the nice thing about Tacky Top for a design like this is that Tacky Top has a bit more of an inhibition layer anyways. So it's really great for different art techniques, especially when you're trying to do kind of a wet on wet technique. This isn't a fully wet on wet technique because we are semi-curing the product before we put the color on top. But it's going to have enough of that uncured inhibition layer to help us achieve the look of the tie-dye that we're wanting to do. So I'm going to pop this in the lamp now, and I'm going to dump it on the ground. I'm just going to put 1 second here. Not on the ground, on the table. I'm so clumsy sometimes. Okay, I just need to fix that one side before it's cured. Just going to pop a little bit of no white there. Perfect. Okay. Pop that in the lamp. We're going to cure that for 15 seconds. I'm just going to take a look at my lamp here. Watch the timer. (10 to 15 seconds probably. Maybe a couple seconds more just to be safe. That was only 10, so let's do a couple more seconds. All right, that's about 15 seconds. So now we're gonna hop back to our palette. And hey, Tanya! And I'm gonna be using my 3D brush today to apply our color. So I've got my palette here. I am going to start. You can reference tie-dye designs on Google. That's kind of what I did just to see kind of how they started them. I'm going to start in the middle with the pink, do a little thin line, and as I get outwards, it's going to get a little bit wider. So let's start with that first. Now, as we're applying these colors, you guys, we're not going to be curing in between. We are going to be working with colors wet. Hi, Bianca. And I fibbed. Let's start with the purple first. So I'm just going to start in the center and I'm patting that out with my brush. And I'm not making the edges even, like smooth. Can you see that kind of start to disperse a little bit, kind of blur out a little bit in that uncured layer of Tacky Top? I should say the inhibition layer of the Tacky Top. It's a little bit extra because we only flash cured it. Remember, we only cured that Tacky Top for about 15 seconds. And if there's little gaps, that's good. We want this to mimic tie-dye as much as possible. So leaving little gaps and showing little areas of white is going to make it look even more realistic, because when you look at a tie-dye shirt, typically there are little lines of white there where it's been tied. So leaving little areas is a-okay. And I'm just patting that color on. And like I said, as I work to the outside, I'm getting a little bit wider with that line. Now we've got our purple in place. Guess what? We're not going to cure. I'm going to wipe off the excess off my brush. We're going to go in now with our pink. And we're going to create the same, repeat the same steps, overlapping that purple a bit, because just like in tie-dye, the colors do overlap slightly. And as you're working, you can decide if you need to add a little bit more product to your brush or not. Just keep tapping your way along here. And I kind of work it up into that purple a little bit. Now, depending on how many colors you're using, I may have started a little too crazy with how wide I did the purple, but that's okay because we can tap those remaining colors kind of over top and overlap them a little bit more, and that'll help blend the colors. Again, I'm not curing in between applying each color because we want them to kind of somewhat melt together. Just tapping along. And I'm kind of working it up and down. Okay, so we've got our purple and our pink. Now let's move to our orange. And when I go in the middle, I am using just a little bit of orange because I don't want to overtake that spiral design. I don't want the spiral to look just like a little splotch. I do want there to be some definition. So just working that out there. Hey, Haley. Messy, I can do that. Yep, that's my kind of nail art too. Hi, Michaela. I can only see part of your comment, but I think you're asking, let me just double, oh, because I'm not in the, hold on a second. Sorry, you guys, I just need to switch my account back. There we go, I think. If you're asking, Michaela, if I'm going to be doing the one that's on the side, yes, I am. I'm just showing you guys two different techniques how to create your own tie-dye looks. Using our Ugly Duckling products, different products. So the main products used today will be our gel polish, of course. And then for this technique, we are using our tacky top. And then for the other one, the one on the side, we're going to be breaking out our clear Schmelt It, and we're going to be using some of that. No problem. Okay, just keep applying these products. So it is a little bit repetitive, but of course, when you're doing this on a client, you're going to be moving a lot faster. It always takes a little bit more time when we're demoing something for everybody, but you'll be able to speed through this. And actually, there's kind of a theme to my my designs that I like to show. I just like stuff that's fast but effective. So this isn't something that you need to be super precise about. You don't need to overthink. Oh my gosh, did I splotch that down too much or anything like that? The biggest thing that you just have to kind of keep in mind is what order you want your colors in. That's it, really. And then the rest kind of just does itself. Once you lay that color down and it starts blending together, that's it, that's all. I'm just tapping through here. Starting to look a little psychedelic, if I do say so myself. Such a fun technique for summer, that's for sure. Okay, wiping the excess off my brush. And I'm going into my green now, which is number 195. Starting in that center a little bit if we can. We're starting to get a little tight in that center, so we may not be able to put any more colors in there. That's okay. The green and the yellow are similar, but they are different enough that you will see some sort of difference. And I can come in and kind of just poke around with the colors too and blend them out a little bit more if I need to, or kind of stretch them in areas. And I am still working thin. Like, I know it's like, oh my gosh, you're putting so many colors on there, but really we're working thin, so it's not going to bulk up the nail. All right, last color, the blue. I'm going to pat this in here. So my suggestion when you're doing this is just keep in mind your spacing, because we are getting a little bit crowded in the center here, and I probably didn't need to go so gung-ho with the purple at first. But it's all learning, and it's just learning. It depends on the size of the nail that you're working on, the shape of the nail, a little bit of everything. So like with anything, a little bit of practice, and you can get it down to an art for sure. I'm just kind of blotting this in wherever. Oh, I'm out of screen. Sorry, you guys. You know what? This is looking like a mess, so I'm going to wipe it off. I'm not happy with it. And that's okay. That's okay to admit. I want to show you guys. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to place thin layer of our tacky top on again. Sorry, you guys, I just was not liking the how that looked. It started to look really muddy. So prime example, just thinking about spacing. So let's pop this in the lamp. We'll do a flash here on that again. 15 seconds in the lamp. It's good when stuff happens like this live. That way we can see what to do. Oh, my heart. Haley, I had to. It's starting to look really muddy, and I just want to show you guys about spacing and stuff. I know, you guys, I'm sorry. Okay, all right, let's try again, shall we? Okay. Start with the purple, very little bit. Boop, 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 boop. Leaving a little bit more space in that center. So I'm going to open up the spiral a little bit more, I think, and I'm not going to use as much in the center. Just dot that down. See how much more I'm opening that spiral? That's to leave room for all those other colors that we're going to put in. So that's my biggest thing, is that my spiral was a little bit too snug in the beginning last time. All right, I think we're in business now. So let's go back. I've got my pink, same thing, a little goes a long way in that center area, and then you can kind of walk it out. And I'm just walking over that purple. That's good, we can see it done a second time. Always so, you know, before I started doing lives more often, I was always so afraid, like, oh my gosh, what if I mess up? But honestly, it's real life, and people make mistakes or make errors sometimes, and it's all just about showing how we can fix them also. So it's all about learning, right? Okay, so I'm kind of just using the side of the 3D brush. You could use our painter, but I just like I don't know, for this I really like the shape of the 3D brush, so that's my brush of choice for this. But yeah, you could definitely use the painter if you wanted to. The detailer 2, that kind of thing might be a little bit too fine, too skinny, so I would stick with a brush that's a little bit more girthy, has a little more meat to it. Okay, we got our pink on. I'm I'm gonna hop into the orange sparingly there. So our spiral is starting to close a little bit, which will happen anyways. If you look on a tie-dye shirt, it's not completely open. Not all of the colors make it into the very center of the spiral. So we'll just keep working from the center outwards though with every color we put on, and we're just tapping that in. Okay, work our way around. And I'm trying not to blend it too much because that was the problem with the other nail that I wiped off, you guys, is I think I was just tapping it too much and the colors were becoming to look a little bit muddy. So knowing when to stop working it is also something I need to get a hold of sometimes. Okay, and then wiping the excess color off my brush, going in with my yellow. Now the yellow is not going to make it right in the center of the spiral, but we're going to start in near the center of the spiral as possible. Tap that yellow on. And just walk around, following the shape that we've done before. Coming down here, because we're imagining this spiral is going off the nail down the side. All right, we've just got our green and our blue left. Green here. Just getting that on there. Tappity tap, very technical term. Tap that on. Okay, now let's get that blue, that teal on. We're going to start here and tap that into where we laid the green down, where the green and the yellow. So basically it'll be in between the yellow and the purple, just as we kind of make our way around. And just by even tapping the color on, it's going to start kind of melting out with the colors that are around it anyway, so we really don't need to overwork it. That's the beauty of working kind of wet on wet, is that it does a lot of the work for us. So it's a really neat technique. Definitely glad we added the blue and we had room for the blue because it breaks it up. The colors we had on the nail are pretty, but I feel like it needed just a little pop of something. Finish off that rainbow effect. We'll go up here, so just a little bit up there. Alrighty, and I'm gonna let that sit just for a second because I need to grab a detailer brush, which I thought I had. Just 1 second, you guys. You know what, a striper will work for this too, and that's what I've got, so let me just give it a quick clean here. And this is an added step. You don't necessarily have to do this part if you don't want to, but it kind of just adds to the overall tie-dye look. You could come in and working from the inside of the spiral, you could lightly just drag some of that color, and always working in the same direction. So you're working through that spiral, and I'm not dragging all the way through because we're following the shape of the spiral, and we're kind of making our way around the spiral. If that makes sense. So I'm pulling. Okay, and then up here. So just tiny little lines, nothing too crazy. Here, maybe a little bit. All right, let's pop that in a lamp for a cure. And all of our Ugly Duckling gel polishes and gel products are a 60-second cure in our LED lamp. So I'm going to give that a 60-second cure. And then we're going to top coat that one. It's so fun. It's such a fun look. So then, yeah, I've done it a couple times. These two are this technique that we're doing now with the tacky top. And then this one is the one with clear schmelt it. So you can get different looks depending on the color combinations you use. I went a little crazy with the little flicks on this one. You can do a lot, you can do a little, you can do none. Whatever you'd like. All right, we're almost done in the lamp there. And I'm going to seal it with no wipe. Just because I love the dimension it gives this look. Okay, we're going to go ahead. Let's seal this with some of our no wipe top coat. And then while this one is curing, we'll move on and we'll do our second technique with the clear schmelt it. Just making sure I'm totally sealed. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and cure this one. We'll pop that in there. We'll let that cure while we're working on our next nail. So we're still going to use the same color palette. And this time, instead of creating a spiral, we're going to work from the side outwards. So I'm going to start with my blue because we're going to start with the opposite end now. We're going to start with our blue and work over to our pink. All right, so again, we've gone ahead and we've done just one layer of our white gel polish, which is number 44. Now I'm going to take my clear schmelt it, and I'm going to do a very, very, very thin coat. The more schmelt it you add and the more gel polish you add to your design, the more it will disperse and kind of schmelt or melt. And for those of you that don't know, this is our rendition. This is Ugly Duckling's rendition of like a blooming gel or a melting gel. Everybody calls it a little bit something different. We call it Schmelt It. It's available in clear, white, and black. You may be wondering why I'm not using the white, and that's because I don't want to soften these colors too much. I want them to remain as vibrant as possible. So if I were to use the white Schmelt It and do the kind of dabbing technique that we've been doing, I'm going to work that uncured white Schmelt It into the colors, which will make them more pastel-like. So by using the clear, we're just getting the melting effect without diluting the vibrancy of the color. Okay. Hi, Juliet. Oh, you're not late. You're just joining now. That's okay. You're never late to live things like this. It's just whenever you can. Okay, so let's start from the side. We're going to start with our teal, which is number 173. And we're going to dot out in kind of a little line. Not all the way up. We're going to come back and kind of play with it a little bit more once we get the colors in place, but we're going to do some dots. Looks like I did about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-ish. Depends on how spread out you want the design. So let's start with our blue or teal. Maybe pop on a little bit more. Okay, so I'm just dotting that on. Looks like I'm going to have about 4 here. All right, wiping off the excess off my brush. Then I'm going to come in and we're going to grab, what did we do? We did our green. So green, and I'm going to dab it lightly over that blue. And I'm really not paying any mind to the shape of this, you guys. It's literally just patting on that product. And I'm leaving a bit of space in between because this will make it look like where the white space, the empty space, will make it look like the shirt was tied there. So then you can come in if you want and you can kind of drag up a little bit of that blue. But keep in mind, the longer this sits on the nail before you get the other colors in there, the more it will spread. So I need to get my other colors on there. So we're going to get some yellow. And as we're working our way up, the dots are getting a little bit wider because we're covering more space on the nail. Just lightly tapping into the color below. Yellow. We're going to get some orange. Now the yellow and green are not overly like they're vibrant, but they don't overpower the nail. That once we get into the orange and the pink and the purple, they can be a little bit more overpowering. So just go in there with them a little bit more sparingly. You can always add more. It's hard in a design like this to kind of take away. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to kind of pat that down. And then I'm going to grab my pink, patting that into the orange. Pat, pat, pat. Pat, pat, pat. And then we're going to have a little bit of room for some purples. So let's come in here. We'll just overlap that pink a little bit. And remember, we haven't cured the Schmelted. The key with the Schmelted is to not cure it at all. The tacky top we cured a little bit, just very, very short flash cure. The the Schmelted we do not cure. So now we've got our colors in place, and that looks really cool as is, but if you want to add a little bit more detail, you can start with your first color here and kind of walk it up and walk it through. Just to add a little bit more detail and more of the tie-dye effect. So then I'm going to grab my green. Got my green here. Let's bring that up into the yellow a little bit. Green up into the yellow. And you can get as picky or as relaxed with this as you want. Looks like we got a bit of an open space here, so let's add some green. And I'm going to pick up some yellow. All right, now let's tap some of this out here. If you got too much color on, you can kind of just tap it around, tap it off. I do a couple little passes by tapping over top of it, and then I wipe the excess off on my palette, just so I'm not overly blending the colors. Let's look here. What can we do here? Let's spread this out a little bit and bring it down a bit if you want. All right, are we feeling like this looks like tie-dye? I think this is pretty fun. Let's add a bit of pink here. Just a little. Bring that down a little maybe. Now, again, for me, the trouble is knowing when to walk away. I'm almost there. I just want to pull a little bit more blue up, just because it started to melt a little bit more than I wanted it to at first, because I was kind of talking through my steps. So the blue kind of melted a lot more into the green, which is fine, but I do want to be able to see all of the colors. So I'm kind of just following the initial shape that we did with those four kind of arms that came off. All right. How do we feel about this? I think we're good. So I'm going to take a little bit of orange just because it's kind of heavy up here with the pink and the purple. Let's take some orange and drag it through. Orange, drag it through. And you can keep playing with this. That's the hard part. Knowing when enough is enough. And I think I'm almost there. So, alrighty. The key is to just not overwork the colors. So you still see the blue, you see the green, you see the yellow, you see the orange, you see the purple and the pink. We still want to see some definition between the colors, but still have them slightly blended together. When they start blending together too much, it makes it look muddy, and that's not what we want. We still want to see some definition. So let's go ahead and pop that in the lamp. We'll cure that. So here's our first one. This is our like traditional spiral tie-dye. Super fun. See, you'll use the same technique, but every time it'll look different. Just like a real tie-dye t-shirt. And then let's go ahead and let's seal this one. We're gonna seal this one with no wipe as well. A little trick is also if you find that just from tapping the gel it hasn't self-leveled totally and you have a little high or low points, what you can do before you apply your top coat is you can actually apply a little layer of tacky top. Let that kind of self-level over your design. It'll help fill in any little gaps or dips or anything like that a little bit more, and that way your top coat will go on a little bit more smooth. Alternatively, you could do a thin layer of builder base and then just let that kind of fill in anything that needs to be filled in, and then you can cure that, and then you can put your top coat over top. All right, let's go ahead and cure this one. And then our tie-dye designs are complete. What do you guys think about that? You guys got this. I know you do. And if you do use any of these techniques and you use Ugly Duckling products, please be sure to tag us and me on social media. I love seeing when you guys recreate things and when you use Ugly Duckling products. It's always fun to see everybody's creations. And we try our very best, I know, on our Ugly Duckling Instagram page to share people's work in our stories and on our page. So do make sure that you tag us because we love to see your work. Let me take this one off here. So see here, same technique. Let me take this one off just because it's different color combo. But these are the two that we did today. These are the two that we did today. Same technique, same colors, but different look every time. But still cohesive, which is important, especially if you're doing this on a full set. But if you were doing two of these nails together, you could do it like this, so that the blue, they're opposite, so that it looks like the two nails side by side or tie-dyed together, like the middle and the ring or something. That'd be kind of cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you for bearing with me with that first go. I had to take it off. I wanted to redo it for you guys. And as always, if you guys ever have any questions about Ugly Duckling products or procedures or anything like that, please don't be afraid to reach out to us. We're always happy to help. You can call us at the office. We're here Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or you can send us an email to our contact email, and we'll be happy to help you in any way that we can. Thanks so much, you guys. For those of you that are in Canada, I hope you have a wonderful Canada Day tomorrow and a happy long weekend. For those of you in the US, I know Monday is the 4th of July, so I hope you have a wonderful July the 4th. And for everybody else, all the other ducklings across the globe, if it's a holiday in your area, happy holiday to you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you guys next week. So take care, and thanks so much. Bye.